Yo people, what's going on? Welcome to another amazing episode of Real Talk. Again, let me shout out to everyone that's been showing the show love. If you're watching the show today, remember to leave your like, leave your comment. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and invite someone else to come on and watch Real Talk. Today, we're here with the man, a very talented gem from the 268. We're talking about the man Patrick Joseph, but y'all might not know him as Patrick Joseph. We're talking about Stooge. Well, go on, brother.
Yeah.
Welcome to Real Talk, man.
Glad to be here.
I'm happy that you're here because you know what? Many people wouldn't know that Real Talk actually started out by you when I used to come by and we sit down and have all these conversations. And I remember you gave me this inspiration and said, boy, you would love for you and I to sit down and have a talk.
Right.
And that motivated me to even go and just start Real Talk. So it's a blessing to have you here today.
Blessing to be here, man.
Yeah, man. And before we get down to all the big things that you've been doing, it's very important that people know where did the Stooge brand start from?
Well, the name of the brand itself has only been up since about 2015. That's when I actually registered the business to the name and all that. But I've been operating under all kinds of different names before that, in pertaining to the clothing line and stuff like that. But I don't remember how I came across the name Stooge, but the bigger meaning behind the name Stooge is, well, one of the definitions is underdog. And at certain times in my life, I felt like I was an underdog. Like I would be putting out this amount of work, and once there's blame, I would get the blame.
Yeah.
So there's a bigger definition behind the logo. The crown being on top of the word Stooge is like the crowning all the stooges, all the people that putting in all the work, even though they're not being recognized for it. Right. So that's the bigger definition behind the name Stooge.
I mean, that's deep. The underdog term there, a lot of people would have their own definition as to underdog, but I love what you just said a while ago.
The other word they could use is scapegoat in the actual definition. So, all the praises go to who's above you when things go good, but when things go bad, all the blame comes to you. So let's just crown all the people that's all the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
Put in the work.
I remember a few years ago I was in a barbershop and how the first conversation took place between you and I was when I actually saw you with some nice tattoos.
Right.
And I was like, yo, who did those? And I also asked you who did the joints for them and stuff, and you said I did my joint myself. And then we got into a deep conversation, and then I remember now that when you were at State College, you used to do like ripped jeans, and talk to me about that sweetness, man. I remember getting my jeans ripped from you and stuff. And
I remember the first time you asked me about the jeans, it was I think we're in credit union, community first credit union line a day.
Yeah.
And you approached me about it, but I mean, to be honest, that basically started from I used to make bow ties as well. Elastic band bow tie with a little clip.
Yeah.
That actually started off a year. It was out of boredom. My grandmother, rest her soul, she used to be a tailor. She used to sew a lot. So she would have a lot of loose cloth all over the place. So I would just pick up. It was for Tian's first tea party, and I bought a bandana and I made a red bandana bow tie to go with some red Levi's that I bought.
Yeah.
And it just started from there. People asked me, yo, that look hype. How you? So I said, I just went on YouTube. My granny had needle and thread, and we went from there, So from that, I was on Tumblr a lot. Tumblr used to be a big thing back in the day. So ripped jeans, I learned how to do that, the tie-dye, the bleaching.
Yeah.
And so everything started in college, even the concept of doing the clothing line. I used to draw in my school books a lot.
Yeah.
Like drawing my hands before I got the tattoos and everything. And I had in business class a day, I had a friend, shout out to Devin Archibald, he's in Anguilla right now, photographer. He said, yo, your designs will look crazy on shirts, what your drawings will look crazy on shirts. I said, yeah, I think so. And at the time I was already doing the ripped jeans and stuff. I was like, alright, let's try it.
Yeah.
So I had a little fight down during that time, but eventually got a copy of Photoshop on my computer I had at the time when I started learning, teaching myself one or two things. So that's how I actually got into graphics do already doing the clothing line. Well, clothing customization, I would say. Yeah, so that's how one thing led to another, and so both sides of the business now piggyback off of each other and grow because of each other. Right, so
I really love that. I love the grind. I appreciate the story on your journey, because you know, from starting, you started doing bow ties, then you were ripping jeans. You know, I can talk about the ripped jeans because I got ripped jeans from you to go to Fete. I remember my first ripped jeans from you was to go to White Fete. You know, and to me back in the day, boss, that was the shit. You know, my ripped jeans, I'm a white shirt and my gun. You know, and I remember other people used to get things done from you. And you know, I want people to understand that, you see, the journey sometimes it might get tough, but you know, if you believe in what you're doing, sometimes the fight will get hard too. You just have to keep going, and you kept going. And now we're here. You know, we're here with, you know, every day I drive on the road, boss, I see this crown. Every single day that I drive on the road, I see this crown. And I'm not talking about seeing the crown on your mom's car or on your brother's car. I'm talking about taxis. I'm talking about just, it's like Stooge brand is just all over the island of Antigua, bro.
And I appreciate all the support that everyone gives to me. A lot of people with the stickers, some of them, before getting the sticker, they're not even sure what it is. So when they come and say, hey, you just stick on my sticker. And I say, all right, cool. And they're like, so what is? And I then get to show them, hey, a clothing line, I do graphic design, I do stickers, I do custom t-shirt printing. So
when did you realize that now, you know, after moving from college and you started, you know, taking things to a different level, when did you realize that the brand Stooge could become a household brand in Antigua? When did you realize that you could, you know what, I'm going to take this thing to a whole nother level when it comes to your clothing, your graphics, which is amazing? You know, when did you realize that?
I'm not sure I ever realized. I just knew what I wanted to do and just never stopped. While I was still going, I did 3 years at State College because I had failed the prerequisite and had to do an extra semester for just 2 subjects. So during that time, I actually met a guy by the name of Nigel Francis, also known as Takumi Media. I met him outside Source. He does the graphics of Source even to this day. And he just overheard me talking to DJ Skinny and DK Productions outside the Source today. And that time I had a first generation iPad drawing in my finger. And he just like how we're sitting here, he just came out the door, I stood up and was just overheard. And he approached me and DK and said, hey, why y'all don't come do an internship? Show me what you can. Send me something, show me what you can do. So, and I was there for about a year. And everything, I just kept growing through his teachings because he's a great graphic artist, one of the best on the island. And well, when I started working there, I just remember everything that Devin told me and stuff like that. Kept working on design ever since college, and I put up my first one after saving $100 from the paycheck for a while. And tried my luck, and people ran with it. People remembered back from college, and close friends supported, and it just started going from there.
You made sacrifices. All them little $100 that you put aside, you know, you were able to invest in your brand. You know, again, that's something that you know, young aspiring entrepreneurs need to understand, that you know, you have to put aside a quart, try and invest in your brand, because that's how it will evolve. If you don't water your plant, it will never grow. Right? And you know, I'm so happy for you and everything that you're doing and what you have accomplished, even though despite the fight. Despite the fight, despite the fact that there's we have limited resources around here, you still make use of what you have to be who you are today. And that's what I am proud of, right? So now we've moved on, and you know, right now, you know, we're here in the 268 again, and I say what's on my mind, and I keep it real. I personally feel like you're definitely one of the best graphic designers we have around here. That is my opinion. Whether you agree or you agree, I don't care. That is my opinion. Right?
I appreciate that.
I've been working with you from the starting of my journey. So we basically grew up together.
Correct.
Right? I remember when I first started, I came to you. And we said, yo, bro, let's go. And we've been working ever since.
Right.
And I've seen your growth. Right? But now, there's so many people around here who come to you for work. Right? No, not just me, but all kinds of different people. How does it feel to know that people from all over, every dot in the 268, even overseas, corporate companies now, you're doing work for? How does that feel?
I mean, it's humbling. It's just a testament that hard work pays off no matter what. The first time I did something out of the country, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I did something in St. Lucia. Shout out to Cody for linking that up. Creed Cool, connections to St. Lucia and Trinidad. So I did some stuff, built some relationships with people over in St. Lucia. Great friends with our DJ Timmy over in Manchester.
Big up to Timmy.
Big up to Timmy. You know, it feels great. Shout out to Nigel as well. I did a couple club flies in England after he moved away. And that's just another good thing about Antiguans looking out for each other. You know?
Yeah.
So enough respect to those people that have been supporting over the years.
Well, you know, I'm happy that you said that Antiguans looking out for each other, right? And this is where it gets a bit tricky now because, you know, people would look at the things that you're doing and think that, you know, you have money. They would just label you because you're able to put out new hats because I know you release every summer, you release every winter, you have a strategic way how you release things, right? And you're able to be consistent with your product. So people would think that you have it made. No, you know, I've seen and I've heard so many complaints from artists around here, you know. And when I say artists, I don't just mean the persons who grab a mic and sing, right? Artists on a whole who complain every day, every time about not being paid, not getting their money for the effort that they put into one's work, right? And I know that is a struggle for you and for many other people. Right? How have you been coping with that?
Well, as of late, I've just gotten, you know, sometimes you have to go with the mentality of Peter pay for Paul and Paul pay for all. I mean, you can only take a burn so many times. And over the years, I've experienced all different types, big, small, you know, so the advice I give to artists that come to me asking me for advice on certain things, I tell them, just don't back down no matter what. Don't do what I did coming up, because if you sell something for 10 cents, somebody's still gonna want it for 5.
Yeah. Fact.
It doesn't matter if you up and down your prices for people, they're gonna always find a way to try to beat you down even more. So know your value and just stick to your value, and just understand that if you say this is your price and people just leave them alone, because at the end of the day, you know the value of your work. And you can't let others determine what your value is, because you know the amount of hours you're putting in and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know, while we're here, I would love for you to, you know, let our viewers know, you know, other aspiring graphic designers know how expensive the field is. Right? Because again, you know, people think that it's just you get a laptop and you go in front of the laptop and you sit down and you become a graphic designer. You know, how expensive that field is and how often you have to update your tools to be on the top of your game.
Well, just getting a properly built computer for one is crazy. I mean, and you have to stay up to date to a point, especially because I use on Mac because, you know, PC wasn't really working out for me. But I have a 2016 iMac right now, and that cost me like $5,000, and that's like the 5th Mac I've owned since starting this journey. I've been through quite a few laptops, and this is my second desktop. I actually still have my first desktop, but can't really keep up with the workload right now, you know. So that's just there. But but again, it's an investment, and if you don't believe that spending this money on yourself, if you don't bet on yourself, then why are you even doing it?
Yeah. And you know what? You didn't just stop at the graphics. you're still squeezing the lime juice out of the lime. You're punching the wall, you're going forward, and right now we have to talk about the shirts.
Right.
We have to talk about the hats. Right. Because again, that's something else that you're doing that is just people out here rocking your shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know, people out here like they're buying the Stooge brand, they're wearing them to fets, they're wearing them all over. I am seeing them. Right. You know, how does that feel when you walk down the road, bro? And you see a hat really and your shirt?
I'm really proud. I was walking in town a few weeks ago and I saw a shirt that only came out once. It's coming out again, but it's a shirt with a panda on it, smoking a bang.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, how often you see this shirt? This man rocking this shirt. I was like, I remember a lot of the people I've sold to over the years. I'm like, I don't remember saying this to this guy, but he wearing it though. He wearing it though. Right? He's wearing it though. But it's very. I feel proud, especially the clothing line. I mean, the clothing line itself. I mean, coming up with the name of the brand was like 100 hours behind the computer every night coming home from work. And I finally figured it out. I was like, yo, this is it. I've made a few changes over the years because the original writing for Stooge was script font. It was a script font, and then if the dependent here was an altered one to it.
Man, brand out, boy. Man, brand out.
And then now it's been updated to a bit more corporate because it's one brand that stretches right across from graphics straight over to the clothing line. And I kind of keep this old script font as my personal. So Stooge.
Yeah.
So this one is me, Stooge. The new one is the brand. But in terms of the clothing line, I just remember when it started when I used to use this website. I can't even remember the name right now. I would just upload my design and print and let them ship down to me. Then I started using local printers like Matthew Noise and Rayburn, RCR Studios. And then I eventually said, you know what, I need to try my best to maximize my profit. So back in 2018, I saved some money and I spent about $10,000 in that instance, and I got myself a heat press machine. I made some connections with some people that create the same heat press, the same screen printing material, but it's a heat press version. So they mass produce my designs, send them to me, and then I just spend another 1,000 hours doing the printing, the branding, everything.
Yo, when you say that's so simple, boy, you know, you say that's so simple, but you know, that's something to be really proud of. You know, that's something that you can, you know, pat yourself on the shoulder a little bit and recognize that, yo, you know, you came a long way from, you know, from the bow ties to the ripped jeans to, you know, you've done graphics, and then you ventured off to doing your shirts, and now you're printing your own shirts. Right. So you're creating your design and you're printing your own shirts from you, not just doing these things and every dollar you make, you go splurge it out. You invest back in yourself. Definitely. Which is something I want persons to gather from this episode. That it's not going to happen if you do not invest.
Definitely. I've even to this day, I pull from my personal so much to put back into the business. Because back in the day, I would spend, especially when I was using other people to print, I have to buy the shirt separately, the hat separately, then pay for the embroidery, and then pay for the print, the setup fees, then the actual printing. It would the profits wouldn't be so much. I would probably spend $5,000. I want to see $1,000. I mean, $1,000 profit is good in itself, but then when you see where you want to go and what the next stage you want to do costs, it can get a bit, you know, it can be a damper in the spirit, the drive.
But you know, bro, I mean, but I would love to know, right? Like, where do you get your inspirations from now when it comes to the shirts and the hats? Because when you look at them, right, I am seeing the Stooge brand, as you can see, look at right here, there's a logo at the side, right? And I'm seeing Nappy at the front, you know, happy to be Nappy, right? And I'm looking at this, and I'm not just seeing a regular hat. I am seeing something. I'm seeing art here, right? I'm seeing, you know, the time was put into bringing this to life. Where do you get your inspirations from?
I mean, I just got my inspirations from life experience, or how I'm feeling at a certain time. I mean, what's current, what the young people right now are feeling, like this shirt, especially this female shirt. There's always controversy between male and females, you know. So females like we say, me also have Bex money.
Walk with your Bex money, look. Walk with your Bex money. It's crazy that I picked up this shirt. Out of all of them, I picked up this shirt. Walk with your Bex money. You be a young lady and young man, not going nowhere without the Bex money day. Can you love cut style? So when you start cut style, you just jump in for your boss and you just step out for your money and go and go your business, right? But yeah, Stooge, I love this. I love it, man, and I love what you have been doing. What else do you have in place when it comes to especially the shirts and the hats? You know, I know right now we're going through this COVID time. Right. What else do you have in place?
I mean, I basically planned this entire year at the end of last year, which is when I did my ordering of the blanks, the hats and shirts and stuff. This year, you know how that went. Yeah. And I shout out to everyone who supported, because the closing did too bad this year. Yeah. To see what's going on.
Shout them out again, man. No.
I love you guys. I can't say it any better. I just love you guys. Yeah. I have a lot of stuff in store for you guys too. A lot of these designs has only come out once that you guys have asked for. They're back, like the panda, the Been Hungry. Those gonna come out in t-shirts this time. That was only tank top the last time. Yeah. So those are coming out. I have a fresh design coming that no one has ever seen before as well. Right. So on the way. Some new stuff on the way.
I want to encourage you to bring back those bikinis, Joe.
Oh yeah, the bikinis are there. But I still have a few bikinis. What I need to do is bring back those beach shorts. People are killing me for those right now.
Mad. I remember those. I was actually supposed to get one, but didn't. But on the next shipment, right. For sure I'll get one of those.
Most definitely.
But you know, Stooge, like I said, man, I am happy. You know, from a black man to a black man. You know, we don't usually get our chance to shine. You know, You know. So I am happy to be sitting down right here next to you, and you're being yourself. You're staying true to yourself and true to your brand. And you have a lot of people, like, you might not know this, but there's a lot of people who look up to you. A lot of people who admire your work, right? Because as a customer, whenever I post, people would always jump in my DMs, like, yo, you know, where did you get this? I love this work so much, and bam, you know, your quality is always on point. What message would you send to a young person, someone probably who's at Abbott right now, or someone who's in high school, or an adult who want to venture off into the field of graphic designs and, you know, everything that you're doing? What advice would you send to them?
Well, what I would say is, if you already have a style or you feel a favorite type of artwork, just practice along those lines, build on it, check out other artists that you look up to, pick out certain tricks and techniques that you see them apply to their work, try it for yourself, see if it fits. If it doesn't, try another idea. So you just keep building on top of the basics that you have. Right. I mean, I come from the school of YouTube because I didn't go to school for graphics. I'm self-taught and then was tutored by Takumi. So anything is possible.
You know, I was saying you went to school for this boy.
I actually wanted to, but I went to school business instead.
Yo, YouTube is a big school. Yeah, you know, YouTube is one of the biggest university, boy. Right. One of the biggest university in the world. No, YouTube, no.
Most definitely.
Ah, man. You know, it's like, you know, people, and I asked you just now to send a message because, you know, sometimes there's a lot of talented people out there who want to do things, but just don't know how to start. Yeah. You know, and we can't really come down on them or be judgmental towards those folks because they don't know how to start. Because not everyone know how to. It's not everyone have the means and the finance or the motivation to start it. You know, but I always, you know, try to tell, you know, my supporters, the people who been following my journey, to, you know, you have to look deep down within yourself, and you just have to have an idea as to where you want to go. And as long as you have an idea as to where you want to go, you have to try and make that step. Just try to make a step.
Trust me, I myself still struggle with that to this day.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because, you know, some days you feel up, some days you feel down, but just take the step. I mean, in so many aspects of life, I was scared to make certain steps, but I've made a step and I've been good after each step. So it's just like a baby learning to walk.
But what keep you? This is. I have two more questions for you, but this one is very important that you go into detail a bit too. Right. What keep you motivated in terms of like, okay, after doing this for so long, sometimes boy you can get a bit comfortable. Right. But what keep you going? What keep you passionate about this field?
I mean, art is something I just always loved from a young child. Most people don't know this, but I actually love drawing because of my brother. Because he used to draw, we used to sit and watch Dragon Balls and he would draw the characters. Yeah. And I was like, man, I get good like him. He don't do that. He doesn't do that anymore. But you know, it's just self-improvement. Yeah. Self-improvement. I follow a lot of artists both regionally and overseas that are like, yo, how you pull this off? And I'm gonna sit down and try till I can pull off. If not what he did, my version of it. Mm-hmm. So it's just trying to level up. I have a vision of where I want to be. Yeah. And I'm nowhere close to it. So I'm just saying, just gonna take the next step until I get there. So it's just a continuous road. Like one of my favorite rappers was Nipsey Hussle, and he has a saying that says the marathon continues. Right. The marathon continues, so we're running a marathon. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a race.
And on this marathon, boy, and I would love to see the Stooge brand in stores soon from now. You know, I would love to see that, you know, people could walk in stores and just pick them up.
The goal is to have the Stooge store open soon. Very soon.
Yeah, bro, and you know, one more thing that I want to know, man, you know, who is your biggest inspiration? You know, is there anyone out there that, you know, that inspire you to keep going? Anyone out there that whenever you think of them, you like, boy, you know what, I can't fail. I gotta keep going.
If I'm gonna think to the latter part of that question, I would say my mother. I mean, I've seen my mother struggle. She raised 3 boys, and when I think back to the kind of money she did that, and we went to private school, we didn't go to government school, and the sacrifices that she made, and I have to look after her now. I have to make sure she's good now that I can provide, and also it's just thinking that when I have kids, I don't want them to go through some of the struggles that I went through. Sometimes, you know, now you can afford to buy certain shoes, clothes and whatnot. I'd like them to have those luxuries and that, you know. When I was young, I had to wear some church shoes, go to school sometime, you know, they go 1 shoes, you know.
And no man want bad mind, you can't buy that. And then you know where man come from, dog. Right, so you know the struggles, dog, and know man come from, and no man have on a clocks on your foot, I have a problem. They want to chop off your foot for your clocks. Hey, life.
But yeah, but it's just that. I mean, I know where I come from and I want to be. I know what I want for who's to come after me. Yep. So, even for my younger brother too, he has goals and aspirations, and if I can help him in any way, shape or form to get there as well. Yep.
Well, my brother, I must say, man, I am extremely proud. I am extremely happy for you. I know that you have a bright future ahead. And you have me in your corner, and I know you have many other persons in your corner. Keep growing, you know. Never change. Continue to push this Stooge brand. Take it to the world.
Yeah, all right? That's funny because one of my favorite artists released a song yesterday, Kevin, it's called Weeks. And at the beginning of the video, it says, doesn't matter what you wear, their perception of you will never change. So stay true to yourself.
Yeah, man.
So and that was deep, and I had that song on repeat for the past 24 hours. Man. So the message in the beginning of that song is crazy. So
big up yourself, my brother. Never change. Continue to push yourself, right?
That's respect. Same to you,
man. Manners. H in them town. I'm out, remember. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to the channel, man.